What's up, guys? If you've been tuning into the NBA world, you know the NBA finals are going on right now. It's this time of the year. Spurs versus Knicks. And there's one player last game who particularly didn't do so well. You probably know him, even if you're not a major fan. Victor Wembanyama. That's how you say his name. He needs to lock in. He needs to lock in. As somebody that just watches the game, that watches the highlights, he needs to lock in. For real. Because I watched some of that, and I was like, look, he needs to lock in. There's some plays where he played not up to a player of his caliber, which everybody regards him as a superstar. You know, Victor Wembanyama, 7'4", alien freak, best player in the world. I hear everybody saying he's the best player in the world now. So we need to hold him accountable. When you're the best player in the world, you have to be held accountable. He probably knows that himself too. Of course, I'm not better than him. I'm not saying like he's watching this video, taking notes from me or anything. But I just want to go over some of the things and like really analyze what is going on. Like this deep dive, get real. It's Joel Unfiltered. We get real here. Like and subscribe. Anyways, I'm gonna watch some of his clips, you know, because he had a costly turnover game too. He didn't play well in game one enough. Watching the game, he missed a lot of important shots. He also had a bad turnover. He had a bad turnover in game two and still had an opportunity to win the game. Of course, missed the game winner, which I have some more thoughts on that too. So, you know, we got to talk about this because it is really crazy because a lot of people were saying Spurs. And of course, I went with them. I predicted the Spurs to win, which is looking really dumb on me right now. They're down 2-0. They look like a team that was not the one that played against the Thunder. And everybody was telling me that the Western Conference Finals were the NBA Finals. And that's just not true. Now, do I think the Spurs are the better team still and they've just choked it away? Yes. But that's part of the game. And it doesn't matter if they're the better team. And I think the best team in the NBA is the Thunder. They just weren't healthy. They also choked some games away too. There's so many teams that are best. We can't use that argument. It's about who's more clutch and can just get the W. That's just what the game's about. And the Spurs have not been able to do it. You know, from the start, from the end, from the finish. You know, they were good to start off the last game, but they didn't finish. And that's part of the game. You know, they came, and then, of course, they played bad, then came back. They were really inconsistent. They're not this juggernaut, which everybody was calling them to be Spurs in for. And now they're headed to New York. You know, they don't have home court advantage. They got 2 games stolen from them. And I think last game, they deserved to win. They played great throughout the end. They just had a couple errors, and that goes on their best player for literally doing most of the mistakes. Of course, it's a team, coaches, plays, but most of the stuff that goes on, it has to go on the star player. You gotta put some stuff. Look, as a star player of the team, look, I turned the ball over, I missed the shot. You gotta take accountability. Be like, I have got to lock in, bro. You gotta lock in. And be like, if it's Victor Wembanyama right now, he's gotta lock in. Game 3, you're going to get to the Madison Square Garden. So much noise. I think even the president's pulling up for that game. You have got to lock in, bro. Like, this is easily one of the most important games of your career. The most important game of your career. So you got to pull up and lock in. And, you know, I think a lot of it has to do with this. I'm going to show you something that Wemby needs to do. Victor Wembanyama, he needs to be like this. He needs to post, score. He needs to, instead of just shooting and, you know, handling the ball, which, of course, Victor can do that. He's great, you know. I love him handling the ball. I love him doing all that stuff. But he's got to, instead of just shooting, he's got to go in, bully body, twist, spin, shot. You know, he's got to get some freaking, you know, shot fake, spin over, bro. He's got to, instead of just stepping back, you know, handling, playing, he's got to also dunk it, bro. He is 7'5", bro. Bro is 7'5". He's got a freaking bully body shot. He's got a freaking instead of like twisting and shooting, he's got to get his ass in the paint. Can hit a little jab, hit a little euro. He's 7'5". Nobody on that team can really guard him. When you think about it, not only that, if he does do that, he's going to get a lot of fouls, which means he can get free throws, and he's a good free throw shooter. So he just lines it up, puts it in. So what I'm trying to say here is, like, instead of trying to be the facilitator, let your other guys do that. You got guys on the team that can shoot. You got guys on the team that can get buckets. Should they move Wemby to just play traditional center? Of course, you're like, it's Victor Wembanyama. He can do so many things, and I get it. But just imagine if he was actually playing center, bro. Like this, watch. Bully body. Tweet. Fake. Shot. Imagine if he was being athletic, jumping off for boards, grabbing, chucking, or like, he's hitting Hezzies right now like that, but he's really just gotta like get his ass in the paint and just dunk that. You don't even gotta jump that high. You just gotta go like that. You don't even gotta go like that. So you know what I mean? It's Victor Wembanyama. So we're gonna see what he's gonna do. He's a generational player, so he should be able to respond to when the cry is hard. You don't go to your other guys. You go to Wemby. So we'll see what Wemby can do. We'll see what Wemby Magic can do this game. Of course, I'm a huge Victor fan. I've always believed in him, so I know he's going to lock in and do this. But let's go look at some of Victor's plays right now. Because I feel like Victor got this. Victor is a phenomenal player. Victor can easily do whatever I'm telling him to do. He knows much more than me. But I'm just trying to make a point here. Like, you cannot be shooting threes. You got to get in, do that little hezzy, do that little body. And look, when those are going, then look, you can go in, take some step backs, be like James Harden, whatever. But right now, you got to go like this. One, spin. You got to freaking spin, shot, little pull up. You got to make it easier. Make yourself in the best position to win. That's what the game is about. Putting yourself in the best position to win. So that's what he's got to do. Put himself in the best position to win. And that way he can get the win. Because if you don't put yourself in the best position to win, you can never get the win. You got to know that. So if he's not putting himself in the best position, by literally hitting step backs, he put himself in the best position by saying, look, take this in. I can draw fouls. I'm even fine with him drawing fouls. He's a big body. He's going to draw a lot of fouls. He's going to get a lot of contact. Anyways, let's sit down a little bit and look at some of Victor's highlights. I think that's a good idea. All right, let's take a look at some Victor Wembanyama highlights. We are live, ready to go. Victor Wembanyama highlights last game. I mean, not highlights. Should I say lowlights? Lowlights, yeah. That's a little better. Let's talk about some of his lowlights. So, turnover plus missed shot. Because I got my little skedaddle-daddle that I want to say about this, but y'all got to let me know, Suffered a nightmarish late game collapse. Yeah, no, I know, Sherlock. I want to see. Let's get onto Reddit. Alrighty. So, first, let's talk about the game winner, and I'm going the opposite way. But the turnover, I think everybody knows about. I feel like the game winner, you get a redemption here, bro. So they running Fox in the action, Wemby screening right now. And, of course, he's going to come up, of course. And then, of course, he gets free. Fox drawing that late double, so not late double, I guess. So then Wemby from there, and of course comes up Mitchell Robinson. Had an all right contest. And what I see here is Mitchell Robinson did contest this pretty well. He's an elite defender, so he was able to recover, get a great. Look, it was an all right defensive play. But if I'm Wemby, you got to look at this. They don't have a position for an offensive rebound here. You don't have position yourself to get a second chance. And this is all about what the game's about. Even as myself saying this, it's like literally not much of an elite player, but I'm even saying this, like, you gotta understand, like, you've got to give yourself as many opportunities to score in those late minutes. You've got to give yourself fives. As many. You want to get as many opportunities. That's the best teams. They have the best offensive rebounders. To come here and just duck on this shot when really, I feel like De'Aaron Fox should have taken the shot. And they get Wemby there to get the rebound and put back. Am I not wrong? Of course, like I was saying, he's taking a mid-range, elbow, mid-range, little free throw line jumper. But I really feel like Wemby just should have been in the paint. And De'Aaron Fox, he's not been playing good, but he had an all right night. Should have been on the floor. should have been the one to take that jumper. Doesn't go. You get Wemby there. Position yourself to maybe look. Wemby puts back. Wemby can hit a little pull up from 2 feet. Of course, this shot, you're not giving yourself any opportunity against Stephon Castle, but it looks like Josh Hart's got the rebound there. Other guy. Who's the other guy? Anunoby, he's got the rebound there, so you're not positioning yourself in a really good position here. I mean, you're getting one chance. You've got to give yourself as many chances. I'm not a coach, but I just feel like they didn't give themselves as many chances as you would have liked. Put back, you can win the game. So that's just kind of what I'm thinking with my head, you know. Run De'Aaron Fox, get a screen off. I don't even know, Vassell or something, and then put Wemby in the post who can put back for the game. But, you know, whatever. It's the coach's decision. He's an NBA coach. I'm not. And, of course, the shot rips out. He falls. And also, I feel like him falling down it did, you know, I feel like he should have ran. You know, of course, the time runs out. But he maybe could have gotten a chance if he did not fall down. You know, of course, I know it's so cool, you know, falling down, hitting the game winner. But it's the NBA Finals. You gotta be ready. They had 0.5 when he fell down. So maybe he could have ran. Offensive rebound. He's Wemby, bro. He can do a lot of stuff. And put it back. But of course, it went off and that did it. So that, of course, it stings, you know. Okay, and, you know, let's talk about the turnover. There's not much to say about this other than, like, they were just really miscommunication. Of course, Wemby gets the rebound and then turns over. I think, you know, what's kind of going through the head here? What's kind of going through the head? Of course, he's upset. I'd be upset too, man. It's like NBA Finals, turn the ball over, point 12, 15 seconds. That essentially, like, you, like, he's thinking Castle's looking back. It's miscommunication, but that at the end of the day, it goes on. I can't blame it on Castle. It goes on Wemby. Like, he understands. He threw the ball, not communicate. You've got to communicate more and be like, I'm giving you the ball. I'm giving you the ball. You know, and that goes on Wemby. He can say to himself, I turned the game over. That goes on Wemby. And, of course, that's just part of the reason why they lost. There's many other factors, but it comes down to this. I've got to say, look, if you're Victor Wembanyama, mentality right, lock in, and think about this. And next time, if you're in a position like this, you holding the ball up before, they're likely going to let you go. You call timeout if you do, and you don't end up going for the game winner. But in that scenario, specifically, down to the wire, you never make shaky passes like that. Every time somebody's made, like, shaky pass, it never turns out good. You don't want to take risks as much. Like I said, you want to give yourself the opportunity. You don't want to take risks down low, down. Like, you want to give yourself the opportunity to win. And now San Antonio back against the wall. Let's see what they're going to do, bro. I'm really, like, I feel the pressure because San Antonio has that superstar. I feel like they don't have much pressure because Wemby's young, but they want to win. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Tap in. Tune in. Peace.